Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Hello, future West High Warriors. We are so excited to be with you today. Thank you so much for being patient and for joining us. There's two main purposes for the session today. The first purpose is to get to know the West High Counseling Department, to put a face with a name, to see who we are. And the second reason that we wanted to talk to you today is to talk about scheduling classes for next year, because obviously you are here to learn. And so we're going to be walking you through the course selection process. So without further ado, I'm going to have each of the counselors introduce themselves. And I guess I should introduce myself. I'm Mrs. Drewton, counselor for students with last names L-E through R-A. And I want the other counselors to chime in right now and say hello, and so you know who everyone is.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Garcia with students' last names A through F-E.
Hi, I'm Miss Lau. I have students with last names F-I through L-A.
I'm Mrs. Barraclough, and I have students at the end of the alphabet starting with the letters R-E through the Z's.
And hi, I'm Mrs. Stover, and I am the College and Career Coordinator. So just to give you a little heads up about the College and Career Center that we have at West High, here we are available to chat with you and also have presentations. So we have college rep visits where representatives from different colleges come in and talk about their schools. We have career speaker presentations as well. And we also do presentations. Sorry, I can't move this. We also have presentations regarding financial aid resources, college workshops, and then you can learn about scholarships, hear about the military, and also SAT and ACT testing for college. I just want to remind all of you that there is a college for everyone. Your mouse is killing me. Okay, so to remind everyone, there is a college for everyone. There are over 5,000 colleges and universities in the US, and choosing a name brand school doesn't necessarily make it the best fit for you. And really, I just want to remind you that I'm here to help you find where you fit for your life after high school, whatever that looks like.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about the counselor's role. What do we do as counselors? Why are we here? So you are going to have, when you come to West, you're going to have the same counselor for all 4 years of high school. So that allows you to get to know us and for us to obviously get to know you. We do provide academic counseling for you as students. And so an example of that would be helping you to make sure you're staying on track to meet graduation requirements. Additionally, we provide personal, social, emotional counseling. So we do know, obviously, that things may come up in your lives that you need assistance with. In addition to the 4 academic counselors and our college and career counselor, we do have 2 mental health therapists on campus, or 2 school-based therapists, on campus, as well as some social worker interns and a wellness center that students can visit in times of need. In addition to all of that, counselors are working with students to help them to plan out their futures, life beyond high school. So we're going to help you out with college and career counseling as well. What are you planning to do in the future? Making sure you're on track for meeting college admission requirements and so forth. So today's the first meeting that you will have with us, where we are going to give you lots of information about scheduling your classes and planning out your classes. But after spring break in April, we will follow up and go to Jefferson and Bert, Lynn to meet with you in individual meetings. So we will go to Jefferson on Monday, April 18th and Tuesday, April 19th to meet with students there. And then on Thursday, April 21st and Friday, April 22nd, we plan to go to Bert, Lynn, where we will meet with you. So with that being said, you know, in terms of earning credits, there are, and your grades and your classes, there are some key differences when you get to the high school that I wanted to explain. The first thing that's different is that once you get to high school, you're going to start to develop a transcript. And on this transcript, you are going to have all of the classes that you've taken and the grades that you've earned at the end of each semester. So that will be starting in 9th grade, you will start to develop this transcript. And that transcript is what counselors will use to make sure that you are staying on track to meet graduation requirements. And this is a transcript also that colleges are going to be looking at when it comes time to applying to college. You know, they will see this transcript. So it is very important that you do well starting in 9th grade year, since this is going to become a part of your permanent transcript. So another key difference from middle school to high school is in terms of grading for the quarters. So in the middle school, at the end of a quarter, you get a grade, and the start of the next quarter, you know, the grading starts over again. That's a little bit different from high school, where at the end of a semester, well, the end of first and second quarter goes in cumulatively to make the semester grade, essentially. So first semester is quarter 1, quarter 2 grade, quarter 3, quarter 4, cumulatively will give you a semester 2 grade. And those are the grades that are listed on your transcript. It's important to know that in every class that you're in, as long as you pass, and passing is an A, B, C, or D, although we don't like D grades, obviously. But passing grades in per class, per semester, you do get 5 credits. So students are typically taking 6 classes in a year. So at the end of the first semester, if you get 5 credits per class, per semester, you will get about 30 credits. And at the end of 1 year, 60 credits. So 60 times 4 years that you're in high school, you should be able to earn 240 credits. And that works out well because in order to graduate, which on the next slide talks about the graduation requirements, you need to have at least 220 credits in order to graduate. So you should have no problem meeting the graduation requirements. So I'm going to quickly go through these graduation requirements with you, just so you know, you don't have to memorize this. Your counselor is here to help you with this, but it is good to familiarize yourself with these graduation requirements, so you know there is a reason why you're taking the classes that you're taking. You can't just sign up for 6 art classes every year and graduate. You know, there's certain classes that you have to take in order to meet graduation requirements. So the first is history and social studies, where you have to take 3 years. Generally, you start in 10th grade by taking world history in 10th grade, US history in 11th grade, and government and economics in your 12th grade year or your senior year. So next year, likely you won't be taking social studies, but you will be taking English because that's our next category. You do have to have 4 years of English in order to graduate. You must have 2 years of math or earn 20 credits of math in order to graduate. And on the next slide, in a few minutes, I am going to talk a little bit about college admission, because the college admission requirement is a little bit different from the high school requirement in math. But for graduation purposes, you must have at least 2 years in order to graduate. For science, you must take 2 years of a science. That's 1 year of a biological science. So a class like biology counts in biological science, and then 1 year of a physical science. So courses like earth and space science or chemistry can count in the physical sciences. World language or visual and performing art, you must have 1 year of one or the other. Now, if in the presentation, later on in the presentation, you'll get a full listing of the different world languages that we have and the visual and performing arts. So I'm not going to go over that, but just going over this now to kind of give you just a general sense of the requirements. You must have 2 years of physical education or earn 20 credits of physical education in order to graduate. And you must take and pass 1 semester of health, or 1/2 of a year. So most students do that in freshman year. Finally, you must have 75 credits of electives. There's certain courses that fit under the elective category, but in addition to that, there are courses, anything above and beyond the minimum in the other areas, in the other subject areas, can count towards elective credits as well. So let's say, for instance, you took a 3rd year of math. Well, since only 2 years of math is required to graduate, that 3rd year can be applied towards electives. So moving on to the next slide, I'm going to talk a little bit about college entrance requirements, the UC and Cal State A through G requirements. Now, even though you're just getting to high school, it's never too early to start thinking about college and planning for college. So I'm going to go through the requirements just so that you are aware of what they are. In the first two areas, history and social studies and English, just by meeting graduation requirements, you will meet the college entrance requirements because it's 2 years of social studies and 4 years of English. So just by meeting graduation, you should be fine. The area of math, you have to have at least 3 years of math taken in high school. That's Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2 in order to meet college entrance requirements, and they do recommend 4 years of math. D is science, 2 years of a lab science, and 3 years is recommended. World language, you must have 2 years of the same world language. You can't mix and match. You have to take 2 years of at least the same world language, and 3 is recommended. In addition, you must have 1 year of a visual and performing art class. And finally, the G College Prep elective, you must take 1 class that meets this G College Prep electives. And anything above and beyond the minimum here in the other areas and the other subject areas can count towards college prep electives as well. So that's just a quick overview of the college admission requirements. I'm going to turn things over now to Mrs. Barraclough, who will start by talking about honors and AP courses.
Hello, students. So yes, I'm going to talk to you about taking honors classes next year. So at West High, we offer honors classes in different subjects, including English, math, science, the world languages, and then we also offer AP or advanced placement classes. So when you start thinking about the courses you would like to take next year, I know a lot of you might be interested in taking some honors classes. So just a few things to keep in mind in order to be successful in these classes. You should be somebody who's getting an A in their current class in that subject. You definitely should be very interested in the subject. So if you really like to read and you like to write, then maybe you want to consider taking English 1 honors next year. You should also be a student who has good study habits and that completes all of their work on time. Even if there's no homework, maybe you're reviewing what was covered in your class and just kind of thinking ahead and preparing for what is to come. So also students who are in honors classes should be motivated and responsible, and very important, students should be able to ask for help when needed. So at West High, we do have resources available to you where you can, get tutoring, or you can meet with your teacher during your workshop, which is a period of time when you can get additional help. And typically honor students are successful in all of their classes, regardless of what the subject. On the next slide, we have some information about what you will need to do if you do choose to take an honors class next year. So again, as I mentioned, you should have an A or a high B in your current class. We are going to ask that you submit a form. It's called the Honors AP Commitment Form. And on this form, you're just basically going to read it over, understand that you're committing to taking the class for the length of the year and that you understand the class is going to be rigorous. And then you and a parent will sign that form, and it will be uploaded into a Google form that we're going to share with you, where you're going to be able to select your classes. We have some tools available to you that you can utilize when trying to make the decision of whether or not you should take honors classes, just to help you manage your time and get an idea of what the expectations are for the next, for those particular classes. So on the next slide, very important for you to give it some thought. Just be very mindful of everything that you will want to do in high school. First of all, it's a big adjustment, obviously, coming to a campus and taking high school level courses. So when selecting your classes, make sure that you feel confident that you'll be able to finish everything, and that you're taking into account all of the other activities that you're going to be involved in. Some of you may be playing a sport, maybe you're going to be joining some clubs. Obviously, you will have homework. So we want you to also have time to enjoy yourself and spend time with your family and with your friends. So just definitely allow for that period of adjustment, and then don't overschedule yourself. Don't do so much that it's impossible to get it all done and that you're going to bed really late at night. So we definitely don't want that for you. On the next slide, we have the tools that are available to you that may help you when you are thinking about what classes you want to take. Maybe you're considering taking 1 or maybe 2 honors classes. So on this form here, the West High teachers have shared information with students to give you an idea approximately how much homework you can expect to have each evening and for how many days of the week. So for example, if a student is considering taking English 1 honors next year, you can say that the teacher has shared that it's probably going to be about 30 minutes of homework for 5 nights per week. So you can add all of these different courses, how much time it takes to do each one of them, and you can use that time management activity. This is optional, but we highly encourage students to do it just so they can kind of get a visual picture of what it will entail to do everything that they're hoping to do. We obviously want you, again, to get enough rest and to be able to balance your load and not feel overwhelmed in your first year of high school. And then on the next slide, it's just a listing of the classes that are required for 9th graders to take. So everybody in 9th grade will be taking English, math. People will be at different levels, and Ms. Lau is going to go over that with you. Students will also be taking a science class, some sort of PE, whether it's a sport or dance or something like that. And then health is also a required class for 9th graders. And since health is only for 1 semester, you will get the choice of pairing that with either an introduction to business class, teen living, or a world geography class. And in addition, we also offer health online during the school year, and students can opt to take this either semester 1 or semester 2. And then students do get to select an elective. So we do offer electives in world languages, visual and performing arts, and the career tech education area. So you'll be able to select a class that interests you. And we have a link here on the presentation that you can access a description of all of the different classes that are offered on our campus. So if you want to get a little bit more information of what that class is about, then you can definitely refer to the catalog and read that. And the next, Ms. Lau is going to talk to you about the different classes in a little bit more detail.
Hello, incoming 9th graders. So great to be with you. So like what Mrs. Berkla said, I am going to be going over the classes for you to choose from for the next school year. So just, you guys maybe are not aware of this, but next school year, we actually are going to be starting most likely an hour later. And so we do have options for students to do the 0 period. So if you choose not to do a 0 period, classes on here like bio honors and geometry honors, they are offered during the regular school day. And the school day is probably going to be starting around 8:30 instead of 8 o'clock. But if you choose to do a 0 period class, your classes will be starting at 7:30 in the morning. So for students who are hoping to do marching band, you will be required to do the 0 period marching band. Students who are wanting to go into speech and debate, that's our forensics workshop, that is also a 0 period class. And as I mentioned before, if you are hoping to do bio honors or geometry honors, there is an option of doing that during 0 period, or you can do that during the regular school day. Okay, so the next slide, we're going to go ahead and talk about your English classes that you need to take. So for freshmen, you are going to be enrolled in an English 1 class. So whether that is going to be an English 1 regular college preparatory or English 1 honors class, those are going to be the options for our general student population. Okay, for those students who are learning English as a second language, based on the recommendations from your ELD coordinator at your middle school, you may or may not be in what's called the English 1 sheltered class. So we will be in communication with your coordinators, and we'll discuss with you when we meet with you in person. But if you are getting that additional support right now for the English class, most likely you will continue and get that English 1 sheltered class in your freshman year. Okay, next we have, thank you, Mrs. Garcia. Next we have mathematics. Okay, so most students are either in 8th grade math this year, or you are in algebra 1 this year. On this slide, you can see the progression for the classes for math, okay? In order to advance to the next level, students have to earn a C or higher this current quarter or semester of Algebra 1, if that's what you're in right now, okay? So counselors, we will actually get your transcript, your grade report. We'll have access to your grades in PowerSchool. So we will see how you are doing in your classes. But if you are currently in 8th grade math this year, if you do well, then you're going to continue on to Algebra 1. If you don't do well, you're starting at Algebra 1 anyway. That is the lowest level of math that we offer at our high school. If you're currently in Algebra 1, the next option for you is going to be geometry with that grade of C or higher. Students have the option of geometry regular college preparatory or honors. If you are currently in geometry honors as an 8th grader taking classes at West High, the next class for you to take would be Algebra 2 or Algebra 2 honors. So again, in order to advance for those students that are in geo honors right now, you need to have that C or higher, and then Algebra 2 would be your next class, okay? The next section, we're going to talk about science, okay? Most students are currently either in 8th grade science at the middle school, or some are taking bio honors at our campus. If you are in 8th grade science, the next class for you to take is going to be our regular college preparatory biology class or that bio honors class, okay? Students who are currently in bio honors, okay, you have actually 2 options for you. I would say most students who are in bio honors are going to be going on to chem or chem honors, but you can also go on to earth and space if that is of more interest to you, okay? That is, again, that progression for science for the first 2 years. You are doing biological science typically freshman year, and then sophomore year, that's when you're going to do that physical science, whether that's earth and space or chem, okay? The next section we are going to be talking about is PE, okay? So there are many options for PE. Students typically, if you are not involved in, say, a sport or marching band or cheer or hip hop and dance, we are doing our general PE class. This is something that you would take for the full year, okay? So for most students, it's either general PE or beginning dance. If you are hoping to do marching band, drill, cheer, athletics, all those pretty much need to have some type of approval from the coach before you can actually enroll in the class, okay? We have 2 actual events coming up that are going to be like super helpful for you. So for students who are wanting to do athletics, we have an athletic parent night that's happening on Wednesday, May 11th in the evening. That's where our athletic director, as well as the coaches, they're going to be available to kind of share with you what to expect for athletics. They'll talk about the summer programs and what it will look like for the next school year. For the other sport, or not sport, but other programs like band and drill, you're going to hear a little later on in this program, in this presentation, about our basically our incoming 9th grade night. It's going to be a market. It's going to be a fun event. So there's going to be a lot of information coming out about that, where you can find out information about marching band, as well as like drill, hip hop, and our dance program, okay? The next slide that we're going to talk about is a very popular one for our students. So you are required to take health in your freshman year, okay? At our physical school site, if you're taking classes here, health is a single semester, and then the other semester you're going to be enrolled in another elective class. So in order to have a whole year's worth of class, you'll take health either in the fall or the spring, and then you have the option of doing health paired with intro to business, world geography, or teen living. Okay, so you'll get one of each, either for fall or the spring. Okay, one option we also have, and I think this gets a little confusing, okay, we have an online health class during the school year at West High as well. Okay, so this is for a student who is trying to maybe do another elective class and just wants to do health online, and they didn't want to do intro to business, teen living, or world geography. This is maybe for a student who is having to do 2 periods of elective that's taken up by band and, say, a language. This is an option for you. But again, this is for during the school year. This is not for the summer. Health in the summer, I will talk about that in just a little bit, but these are your options with us at West High for next year, okay? I'll go into the next slide. Thank you. So like how I mentioned, health is a very popular topic, and it is something that many of you are considering doing this summer. And so this slide is really to kind of help address whether you want to take health in the summer or any other class in the summer. Okay, just because you have the opportunity to do a class in the summer, it doesn't necessarily mean that you should. Okay, we know that it's been a very tough past 2 years, and especially this past year, we're transitioning back. Please keep in mind, next year, you guys will be freshmen on our campus. And that's also going to be another big transition, going from middle school classes to high school classes. So again, just because you can, I wouldn't necessarily that it may be the best idea if you're just trying to make room to do another academic or elective class, okay? If you are going to do health or any other class in the summer, okay, a very common question is, how do I sign up? Okay. Counselors at the high school, we don't actually enroll you in these classes, okay? You're going to actually have to do that for yourself. We have later on in the presentation, we're going to kind of talk about what to expect and what you need to do. But specifically for summer school, if you're applying to health or any other class, we need to have what's called a correspondence pre-approval request form. In this presentation that you'll get, it is actually linked over there. This is going to be something that you're going to have to upload to your course request when you submit that to us later on, later this month, okay? And some options that we have for you to take health as well as other classes. South Bay Enrichment Academy is our Torrance Education Foundation summer school program. Classes are actually going to be at West High School this year. So if you're hoping to do a in-person class, or sometimes they have a hybrid online in-person class, that is an option for you. If you know that you are okay with just doing completely online, that very last section to the far right-hand side gives you some options that students have used from West High School in the past. Okay, we know that there are many, many programs out there, but that's just a small sampling of what our students have used. So regardless if it's through South Bay Enrichment or an online provider, you're going to have to do that enrollment, and you're going to have to give us that correspondence form, okay? Next, we're going to go ahead and talk about, okay, that policy. So again, I talked about that correspondence form, okay? So you see that on the very far right-hand side, but something to keep in mind, at most, students are only allowed to take 40 credits of classes outside of West High School that they're going to use towards their West High graduation requirements. So whether that's health for 5 credits, or if that's, say, a history or an English or a science class, at most you can only do 40 credits. So please be mindful of that as you are working on thinking about your classes for the next 4 years. We know a lot of students like to utilize that summer school time and or during the school year to take other classes, okay? On top of that, so the 40 credit maximum, there's also only 10 credits per academic area. So for instance, if I am doing English this summer, I can't do English again next school year for sophomore year English or junior year English. As a 9th grader, you don't have to do social studies, but come 10th grade, you will. So if I decide to do social studies the summer going into 10th grade, I can't do that again for social studies into 11th or 12th grade, okay? So that's just something to be mindful of, again, as you kind of plan out and think through what your next 4 years at West High School will look like, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and I think I have one. Oh, that's it. Yes. So I'm going to go ahead now move to Mrs. Garcia, who's going to talk about the elective classes that you can take at West.
Hello, 8th graders, soon to be 9th graders. Thank you for listening to our presentation. We're almost to the home stretch very soon, but I'm going to talk to you about the past classes that Ms. Lau just walked you through are the required classes. And then remember that you do get one elective. So what are your elective options? So first up, to graduate from West High School, you need 1 year of a world language or 1 year of a visual and performing art. This doesn't have to be taken in your freshman year because you do have time to take it in sophomore year, junior year, or senior year. But just to give you an idea, you know, some students do want to start their language immediately in their freshman year so they can, and I'll go over what those language options are. And some would like to start their fine art, but just keep in mind that at some point during your high school career to graduate from West High, you need 1 year of a language or 1 year of a fine art. It is very different for the four-year colleges. So to apply to a UC or Cal State school, you will need 2 years of the same language, but they do recommend 3 years of the same language. And you also will need 1 year of a fine art. So you need both the language and the fine art for the UC Cal States, or you need just the language or fine art for just high school graduation, okay? We do have a world language placement test, and you'll see on the bottom middle of that screen where it says click here for world language placement test info. If you feel that you are going to be entering a language for the first time as a freshman, but you're above level 1, for example, maybe I speak a little bit of Spanish and I wouldn't necessarily need to go into Spanish 1, that I can take a language placement test to see if I would place into Spanish 2 or Spanish 3. This is not for everyone. This would only be for the student that feels very confident that they are well beyond that level 1 of a language, okay? And then keep in mind, as you're working your way through your high school career, that in a world language, very similar to math, you do need a C or better to advance to the next level of a world language, okay? So going through what our options are, our world languages we offer at West are Spanish, French, Japanese, and Korean, okay? So those are the 4 language options. And then as a freshman, the visual and performing art options are possibly if you're going to be in our marching band 0 period, then you also would select advanced band. If you play a wind instrument or percussion, it depends on your instrument. We also have advanced choir that you can try out for, or ARIA, which is also choir. We have beginning art, so art 1. We have beginning instruments if you want to learn how to play the piano or the guitar. We have beginning theater, which is beginning acting, not in front of the whole school, but just in front of that period only. We do have auditions where you could try out for our advanced theater, which would be in our big fall play or spring musical. We have just beginning choir. If you'd like to sing, but you're not advanced, we have our beginning choir class. Costume and wearable art is our beginning fashion. So if you want to learn how to make clothes, there's costume and wearable art. We have video production. We also have stage tech, which is an after school commitment. It's not every day, but this is considered what we call a 7th period. So this would be after school gets out, especially during the fall play and spring musical. You're helping with like the lighting or building sets to the plays. So it's connected to our theater program. There's tall flags, and then we also have wood design, which is making things out of wood. Tall flags, just to go back a second, is also you would be in 0 period marching band with tall flags. Okay, and any course here that has an asterisk, that means that you would have to audition or try out for the class, and a lot of that will cover at our 9th grade open house that is going to be next week. Okay. So other elective offerings we do have, just to let you know, we have journalism, which is like our school newspaper, and we have yearbook. So if you wanted to be in any of our publications, there is the newspaper or the yearbook that you can audition or try out for. And then we also have leadership, which is ASB. I believe that the elections information will be coming soon. So if you would like to go through our election and hopefully get nominated for one of the positions, there is an ASB option. On the right-hand side are other college prep electives that we do have. So we have academic decathlon that you would have to try out for or talk to Mrs. Hettinger, and we will connect you with that information at our night market. We also have AP Human Geography. So history is not part of your freshman schedule, but if you really like history and you want to be in some sort of social science, then AP Human Geography is a course offered to freshmen. We have forensics workshop or debate. That is a 0-period class with a lot of Saturday commitments as well. But if you are interested in being in our debate team, there's that. Design and architecture, I guess you would be on the computer kind of drawing buildings. It's almost like the blueprints to buildings for architects. And then we also have our intro to engineering class. We have several engineering courses that are part of our pathway. So just to give you an idea as far as courses available to you, not necessarily for freshman year, but also just throughout your high school career to get you your mindset on maybe what pathway you might want to get involved in here at West High. We do have the art, media, and entertainment. So that's our theater program. So we have beginning, intermediate, and advanced theater. And then we also have our production and managerial arts, which is part of our video production class. For business and finance, if you do end up taking intro to business with health and you are enjoying the business aspect, then you can continue in our accounting 1 and accounting 2 throughout high school. We have building, construction, and trades. So wood 1, if you take wood 1 and you enjoy it, we will have wood 2 and vocational cabinetry and millwork available for you. And then lastly, on this slide, education, child development, and family services. So if you take teen living and you enjoy the education or child development side, we will eventually, as a junior or senior, you'll be able to tap into our personal family management course and our child and family community course. Okay, and then there's just 4 other pathways. So we have engineering. I already talked to you about the architectural design, the beginning one, design and architecture, but we also have advanced design and architecture. For engineering, there's 4 courses that fall under that. So I spoke about the intro to engineering, and then following that, you could potentially take the principles of engineering and then also design and development. And then we do also have the AP computer science and principles class. For health science and medical technology, once you complete your biological science, which is biology, and your physical science, which is either going to be chemistry or earth and space science, then maybe junior year you can take anatomy and physiology, the study of the human body, and then connected to that after you complete anatomy would be an option for EMR and medical occupation. So we have some health science courses available to you. For fashion and interior design, we have costume and wearable art, which is the beginning class under the fine art. And then if you enjoy that, we have fashion 2 and 3. And then hospitality and tourism, we have cooking that will be available to you as a 10th grader. And then if you like that, or 10th through 12th grade, we also have the foods too. Okay, so that gives you an idea of all the different elective options for you. Again, we will be sharing with you a course offering document that has all of these listed on one sheet. And then we also will be sharing with you this presentation. So where do you go from here? Because I know we just kind of threw a lot of information your way. So this slide breaks it down for you as far as what you're supposed to do between now and when we meet with you starting after spring break. Okay, so step 1 will be the course offerings. You will be able to see, like I just mentioned, we have a West High School 22-23 course offering document that is going to look like this. And this will have on, I guess, 3 pages, all of the courses that we just went over. So you'll be able to see all of our English classes, math, history, science, world language, health, our PE, our athletic teams, visual performing arts, career pathways, as well as our other elective offerings, 0-period offerings, and online offerings. So all of this will be available to you. Again, there are grade level courses, so not every course is available to you as a 9th grader, but it kind of gives you an idea of how to plan from here through 12th grade. Okay, we also do have a course description catalog for you, so you can look into more detail at what each course entails. We do have we created a 4-year plan, so for those students that want to apply to the 4-year colleges, and hoping to meet the A through G requirements that Mrs. Druten walked you through, we do have this for you, and you can start plugging in what classes you want to, which classes you want to take what year. So for example, history will start in 10th grade, and then you'll have history in 11th and 12th grade, and then like what classes, what science classes you're going to take, what language classes you're going to take, just to help keep you on track for the 4-year college plan. All right. So after you do step 1 and you go through all of your course offerings and you select what 6 classes you'll be taking next year, step 2 is only for students wanting to take an honors or AP class. So if you want to take an honors class, you will have to complete and upload the honors commitment form to your Google form, which I'll go over in step 3. But the honors commitment form looks like this, and you will have to complete it and save it as a PDF, and then you'll upload it onto your Google form. But you're basically committing to the 1 year of that honors or AP class. So you will need that form to be uploaded in order for you to enroll in an honors or AP class. And then the last step is going to be step 3, which is the 9th grade course request Google form. Okay, this is due on or before Monday, April 18th. So you have quite a bit of time now to complete this form all the way up through April 18th. We hope that, obviously we don't want you to complete it right now because there's a lot of steps that we have to still take. We want you to be able to come, and we'll talk about our night market in a second, but we want you to be able to come to West and kind of explore more classes and review the course offerings and talk to maybe your current teachers and your parents and things like that to see what might be a good fit for you. And then also at the bottom here, the correspondence form that Ms. Lau went through. If you do plan on taking a class over the summer, such as health, you will need to complete that correspondence form and also upload it into the Google form. But on the Google form, you will be able to see that lots of the information that we went over today, we basically walk you through every step. Okay, so this is what the Google form will look like. And again, we have links to everything. Whoops, I need to take that off. But we have the graduation checklist, so you can kind of see what is expected of you. You'll have the 4-year plan. You'll have the course offerings. You'll have this presentation with clickable links, which we'll also email to your principals that they can share with your families too. And then we have the course description catalog. And then we tell you the requirements, and then we will walk you through every step as far as what the required classes are. And you'll just kind of click away and select your classes. And then we'll review what you submitted in April. Okay. So that is the Google form. I'm going to turn this over now to, let's see, Mrs. Druten for our last 2 slides.
Yes, for the last couple slides, I'm just going to talk about a few things. Thanks for hanging in there with us. I know it's been a lot of information, but I wanted to let you know that usually in August, we invite all incoming freshman students to come to what we call Warrior Welcome. And that's basically like an orientation to West High, where you're going to get to spend, you know, part of the day, part of a full day at West, meeting other new incoming students, as well as meeting some current West High students who will give you some tips and advice on how to survive high school. In addition, the next slide covers basically the fact that we do encourage you to get involved in high school. You know, the more you get involved, the better experience you will have in high school. So the counselors encourage you to join some clubs. Most of the clubs meet at lunch. We have a wide variety of clubs that you can join. And where you can find out about the clubs is next week, we are having our incoming freshman night and night market. We're really excited to have this. We've expanded the night to include a campus tour from 5 to 6 p.m. at West, and you do have to register for the tour. After that, starting at 6, we will have a main session in the gym. And then starting from 6:30 to 8, we will have a night market where we'll have different clubs and programs with booths. We'll be selling food. It'll be a great event, and hopefully you'll get a chance to see why we all love West High so much. There's a lot of great things going on at West, a lot of different opportunities for you to get involved. And we hope that you and your parents come to that session or come to that night and experience all that West High has to offer. And with that, this concludes our presentation. Again, I just want to say thank you, and we are so excited to meet you. And over the next week, you know, I know you'll be coming to West and for a couple of these events, and we hope to see you then. So thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, and so we're going to close down the recordings, and thank you so very much. And I'll be posting this for everybody. So thank you. Bye-bye.